The next presenters are from Mexico. The project name is Bondtour, and the presenters are Irving and Mariana, our birthday girl.
I would like to imagine the last trip you have in the several past years. Do you really get to meet local people? Do you remember getting to local restaurants or local businesses? Do you even remember what's the typical food or the history of the country or city you went to? If the answer is no, well, I'm really sorry, because you really miss out a big part of the city, which is its actual culture. That's why we are bonding tourism. With Bondtour, you'll be able to connect with native people so you can ensure to get the best and unique experience in your travel. Also, the best part of it, you will go to local places in where you will have a unique experience. And the best part is that those places, you couldn't find them in Google or in the city maps, and the money will stay local. So that's pretty good for the economy.
Good afternoon. My name is Irving Guadarrama, and she is Mariana Garza, and we are both the founders of Bondtour. So we want you to know that tourism supports 9.5% of the world economy, representing $7 trillion industry. The next one. Our business satisfies the new need to create a safe and unique life experience for travelers, reaching small communities and their true local culture. And as you can see, our market segment will be travel. So if we had an example of Mexico, like we received 17 million international travelers since the last couple of years. And if just 0.5% of them spend their money on local restaurants, souvenirs, and recreations, in the worst case scenario, they will generate $45 million for just the local businesses. And according to Think with Google, travelers visit 22 sites before booking a trip.
So imagine you're going to Italy, so you need to look in many sources, the flights, hotels, some recreational activities, and even some restaurants and why not bars. Well, that will take you even 2 weeks to plan the trip, so it's a pretty long time.
Yeah, but now with Bondtour, you will have everything you need for your travel in just one platform. Well organized and easy to use, as you can see in the picture. For instance, in a future, we are going to allow users to review their accommodations, their bookings, and tours they have, even though if they don't have any internet connection. So it will be a special feature we are going to give our users. And in the travel industry, there are many companies like Couchsurfing, Airbnb, TripAdvisor, or Expedia that you might be seeing them as our competitors, but we also get to the conclusion that they might also be our partners.
So now we'll talk to you about our product proposal. First of all, the user will be a tourist or a guide depending on their actual situation. And well, first of all, you have the login page, will be via Facebook or Gmail because it's a bit easier for users. Then you will have your profile with just basic information because we want to keep it safe for users. After that, you will introduce your destination and also some characteristics and interests you are willing to bond with. So after that, you will create some matches. Well, you will create some matches with people of that city, and you can review their profiles and even start chatting with as many as you want. And you will start asking for recommendation, places to go. And it might happen that one will say you like, hey, come with my friends, let's go and hang out. I will go and pick you to that train station. I will take you to these local places. So you can really bond with this person just by chatting at first, but you can also meet them in the city or town you're going. We also have the feature of booking, which actually, the fun part in here is that when you book something, the reservation will go to your agenda, so you will have the reservation, the location, and the date of it, just all saved in your cell phone. And finally, but more important for us, is the reviews and rating, because that's actually the way that users will trust each other. So it's really important for users to give a feedback of the experience they have.
So Bondtour is having 3 different phases in the next couple of years. The first phase will be on January 2015.
And we'll basically are going to have the profile, the reviews, some chat, and the compatibility between Facebook and some and other social networks.
And in June 2015,
we're going to have phase 2 and phase 3, where actually the main goal is businesses and booking. We're going to have some extra tools that might help a traveler plan its trip, so it will be easy for them just have it all in just one application. And our business model, as you can see right now, we are witnessing a free way of services on the internet. That's why our business model is freemium, which actually consists of giving for free our core service and charging a unique 99-cent fee for the premium ones. But our main revenue will come from the business commission of booking and also the advertisement. And we need to take some benefits of being a social media company, social network company. So that's why we're going to, with the word of mouth referrals, we're going to gain users, but also the best part is we're going to decrease our expenses. Well, the tourism market is obviously humongous, but our entry market will be international students. It is actually 4.3 million international students per year, growing at a rate of 12%. And the second fun fact of it is that right now we have millennial tendencies, which they're traveling international, pursuing their personal interests, and they want to go to urban destinations. Also, our entry channel, it's of course iOS, Android, but of course we're going to have our web platform because we're going to be a hybrid application. And to protect it, we have right now our trade Bondtour.com. If you want to go to our webpage, you can go. The utility patent, which it's to protect the inventive process of our application and also the functional process of it. And we want to talk to the world intellectual property to see if we can expire a patent, which it actually will be in 148 countries.
Well, in the case of initial investment, we need a fund of $200,000 in order to cover these expenses, these initial expenses, and they can be either gathered through an angel investor or through a bank loan. And as you can see, this is our financial statements. So you can take a look of them, and if you have any question, we are willing to answer them at the end of the presentation. And in our financial summary, we include our return on investment for the next 3 years. That will be a 97%, 94%, and a 74% each. The payback period will be of 6 months, and the internal rate of return will be around 36%. Well, I think you are asking yourselves, who is behind this project? Well, Bondtour is composed by 6 members, the both of us, an attorney, a programmer, an accountant, and a designer. Well, in a few months, we are going to hire some other programmers in order to develop the software, And we are also hiring some international people around the world to make the application goes worldwide. And of course, we had a board of advisors which are giving us their support and advice to make this project become true.
And well, actually, that's Bondtour. But I don't want you to stay in this presentation, okay? Let's go a bit further. We're trying to change the pattern of tourism and actually try to help local preservation, cultural preservation. And the best part is that everyone wins in here. The tourists will have a local and unique experience in the city they travel. The local communities will stay with the money, and also they will start competing with commercial brands, and the culture will reinforce itself. Also, an important part that I live in here, and I think we'll live it, is that Bondtour actually fulfilled its mission in this weekend. Because the host families went for us, we were with BT organizers and with some sponsors, and actually they took us through the city to get to know some traditions they have, like the hookies, the hooky rock. We went also to Black's house, and also we went with our sponsors to eat to some local restaurants. So we kind of like get to know a bit of the culture of Blacksburg through local people, and that's the main feature of Bondtour. And another thing that I found out of Blacksburg is that they're trying to stay local, like stay all the money and leave it here. So that's actually a worldwide need. So we're trying to help cities that have this need to fulfill to fulfill it with our application. So in just few words, we're just trying to get the culture worldwide together and also to reinforce the economy. And remember, the only way to genuinely get to know a city is by the essence of its own people and by their roots. Thank you.
Yeah, a question. So a big part of this is hooking up the people who are going to be the tourists with someone local who will then serve as their guide. So I imagine they're going to be paid for this in some way, or how does that transaction work?
No, actually our revenue comes from two different sources right now, from advertising and from booking commissions. So the guides that will be given the tour to tourism, they will not charge anything.
I mean, it's like we are young guys, and if someone called me like, hey, I'm going to Mexico, I just need someone like to travel, I will really take them to the best tacos in the corner, I will take them to the best bars, because it's like international experience, and right now it's really getting like worldwide. So they wouldn't get paid the local guides, but the local like recreational activities that want to, I don't know, get a tour of scuba diving, they will get paid, of course, because they're a business. But the local people won't.
Yeah, it's like more like for a hobby. Yeah, it's for hobby.
Maybe? Okay, yes. So how do you build critical mass? You need critical mass on both sides of this. You need locals and you need tourists.
Yeah.
How do you go and build that critical mass on the local side first?
Well, actually, that's why we're going to start with international, because we are going as exchange students, and the international department of each university that we're going gave us a body, they call it like that, and they send us via mail the name of the body, and we should contact the body via email. So that's kind of like, the international programs are all around the world, so we're going to start going to international departments to kind of offer our product and start using it worldwide, because that's true. We need to grow worldwide, not just like in Mexico, because then I want to go to China, and if there's no one in China, the application won't work. So that's mainly how we're going to work. Did I answer your question?
I think so. Thank you.
Yeah? Okay.
So the 200 million in revenue that you said you were going to have in a couple of years, again, address the components of what, so what percentage of that is downloads versus travel commissions versus advertising?
Yeah, advertising, it's just 1% of our income. 85% of our income comes from international revenue. Here is our revenue model. So the international revenue, it's about 85% of our income, and then domestic travels are 14% of our income.
Actually, in the income statement, we don't have the premium ones yet.
Yeah.
So it's, and our percentage are really low. Like, I think 1% is, well, actually it's a lot if we're a new company, but we just went to our worst case scenario. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, like
Is it
we are.
clear? Is it clear, or you need like more details of the percentage?
No, I mean, I think you're answering my question that it's substantially commissions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's commissions
most of them.
basically. Yeah, and actually we think like going with TripAdvisor, Expedia, it won't be a problem because we talk to Smart College Visiting. You know the webpage? Yeah. Well, and Kelly told us that places like Priceland are really seeking for smaller companies to go with them, so it will be like a resale model. So I don't think we will have a problem going with TripAdvisor, Expedia, and being kind of partners.
Okay, how are you going to differentiate yourselves from the competition? There are a lot of sites that do something similar
Of
to
couch
this.
surfing and all that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
basically, first of all, we are a social network and they're private accommodations. And, well, that's mainly because it's going to be a one-on-one interaction. So that's our main differentiation.
So Expedia, TripAdvisor, Couchsurfing, and any other kind of these businesses, they move people, and we try to connect people. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. They move people around the world. They give housing, mm-hmm. and we are trying to connect people, reinforce the local values of the cities they are visiting. So that's our main differentiation between.
Okay. When the tours become more popular, do they become by nature less authentic and local?
Well, I don't think so because local businesses are of people that truly love and know the culture of its own place. So it won't be like, at my point, they might turn commercial, but the authenticity of the culture and of the flavors of the food, of the colors of the city, they won't change. I mean, culture is culture. So it's just disappearing because of the globalization of tourism, but the local people will never like change their culture.
Do you plan to try out each tour for quality control? And if so, there's a volunteer who will do that.
Can you repeat it?
Do you plan to try out the tours for quality control?
Well, you can, of course.
Yeah, we can. We are thinking about having a trip around the world and make connections. If we have the $25,000, we are going to have a trip to every single part of the world in order to know the tours and everything they need.
And I think it's really important that we might have like some leaders or representatives of our company in many parts of the world, so they can like get the authenticity of the businesses to see if they're really a local business, if it isn't a fraud or something like that.
So how will you start? Where will you get the first data? And if there's not enough data, people will not use your app. How do you get that recognition out there?
Yeah,
how will you start?
That's totally true. So we're going to spend a lot in marketing. Actually, one of our biggest expenses is in it. So we're going to grow with word of mouth referrals, and well, that's it. I mean, that's how Facebook started. That's how Snapchat started. So we're going to start locally, like internationals, and then it will spread. When we will.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.